Hello everyone, this is Tim Pichot, Certified Financial Planner with WealthCare Advisory Partners. Today I'm excited to show you a new piece of technology called riskalyze. We're all used to the boring 5 to 7 questionnaires to determine risk. Then your advisor puts you in a portfolio that matches your maximum risk tolerance. Well, with WealthCare, we actually turn the traditional process upside down. And first, we try to identify your goals. And second, we come up with a plan to take on the least amount of risk to hit your goals, whatever that may be. It helps us find the maximum amount of risk that you're willing to take on, and that's what we actually want to use in your worst case scenario of retirement. So we're going to have an ideal scenario where if everything goes great, and then we're also going to have the worst case scenario that you would possibly would accept as a potential retirement, and then in the middle we're then going to come up with a more realistic goal, but we're making sure that we use this number that we get here as the maximum amount of risk that we would take on in the least acceptable retirement scenario, which hopefully that isn't the case, but just so that you know the method behind the madness here. So let's get started. So when you click on the link, the first thing you're going to see is a welcome screen with your name on it, or if you found it through any other link, you can then put your own name in here. So let's get started. So here you can actually, if you want to, you could just skip through all the various questions over here, and you could actually get you started, or you could then fill it out if you want picture. So over here, what we're doing here is we're going to have a sliding scale, which is going to give us a 6-month amount of risk that someone can handle in a certain amount of time period. So here we're using a $250,000 portfolio, and the reason why it's important to put in the value of your portfolio is because if I were to tell somebody, hey, are you okay losing 10%, they might say, yeah, I think I can lose 10%. But if you were to say 10% is $25,000, well then all of a sudden then it might mean something a little bit different depending on each individual investment. Either choose to take on less risk for the same reward, or more reward for the same risk. So here I'll go with less risk, same reward. And then we'll have another follow-up where you can choose to take on even less risk but less reward. So here -8% for the positive 8 for the upside, -5 for the downside. So we'll choose this, and then lastly will give us another choice where it says even less risk, or we can go with the last choice. So we'll go with the last choice. That's going to give us a risk number of 31. So if that feels like that's your risk tolerance, what's going to happen is it's going to automatically be sent over to me. So as soon as I update the riskalyze assess, we can take a look at your current portfolio. What I've used for this one was typical 60% in stocks and 40% in bonds, and I used pretty much some of the biggest funds out there for that. So a Vanguard Target Fund for someone that was going to be retiring who is 65 years old, born in 1965, and also used the two most generic funds there are, the S&P 500 representing the stocks, and then the Barclays Aggregate Bond Index representing the bonds. From there, I can do a stress test to see what the portfolio might look like in different conditions. So the 78, that's going to be the S&P 500. So in a 2013 bull market, you're going to get a little bit less than the S&P 500. But again, if the financial crisis were to happen, again, we could also expect to get less downside. Over here, if interest rates were to rise by 1%, you could expect this portfolio to possibly go up 3%. Whereas if you were strictly in the Barclays Aggregate Bond Index, you would expect your underlying portfolio to go down by 5.5%. Now we can also check out the dividends over here. We can check out what the expenses are. And once we have checked that out and we've inputted your current portfolio, we then want to come over and update your portfolio to more match your risk tolerance. So with this person being at 31, obviously right now they have they have twice as much risk as they can potentially handle. And the reason why this is important is because with a risk tolerance of 62, currently they have a 95% chance of a successful retirement. And what's hard for people to grasp is that you can actually take on less risk in retirement and greatly increase the chance of having an unsuccessful retirement. So in this case, Mr. John Sample over here, we go to a 31, and now he actually has a 0% chance of a successful retirement. So what that means is we now need to go do a financial plan. This is not a financial plan, mind you. Our financial planning engine does over 100,000 simulations. This is just doing one using straight line analysis, but it is a good starting place, and it is a great place for discussions to see why it is important to have a plan. And one of the most important factors in any plan is actually going to be the timing of recessions, which is something that nobody knows when it's going to happen, but I always try to manage money keeping that in mind, especially since we are 7 years since the last recession. But hope you guys enjoyed this today. If you have any questions, please let me know. And thank you for watching my video, and take care.